What's going on, guys? Shane here with another Fight Tips quick tip. So before we get into finding and creating angles and giving you specific combos that you can do, I want to give a quick shout out to my wife who started her own YouTube channel. A lot of behind the scenes of Fight Tip stuff and also traveling vlogs when we're going all over with Bellator and Dave & Buster's. So I would love to see her get to 1,000 subscribers by tonight if possible. Really appreciate that, guys. Thank you. All right, so let's talk about creating angles, finding angles, because when I first started fighting, I'd be sparring and my coach would be screaming, Shane, you gotta create that angle, you gotta create that angle. And I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know if I had to take my head off the center line, if my punches had to be coming in at a different angle, if I had to move my body positioning. So the best way to explain it, and the way that I understand it, the easiest way is hands of a clock, right? You're standing in the 12 o'clock position, but tilt the clock this way. So you're standing on top of the 12, your opponent is standing on top of the 6 o'clock. Right? So they're standing right in front of me, we're squared up, I throw my jab, my cross, I'm gonna hit them. I throw my hook, I'm trying to hit them right at this point with the hook, with the uppercut, with the teep, shoot in for that takedown, whatever it may be. You're standing right in front of your opponent's standing right in front of you, it's just gonna be a rock'em sock'em robot match back and forth, right? Distancing comes into play, of course, right? Trevor Whitman talks about this a lot, a coach that I really admire and look up to, talks about the hula hoop range, right? So you can actually put a hula hoop on someone, or you can just have your training partner put their hands out like this. This is hook range, this is overhand range. You want to avoid that, but also not only just talking about range, but angles. They're staying in that 6 o'clock position, they're just waiting to get hit. But once you start moving out to the 5 o'clock, the 4 o'clock, the 3 o'clock is great. And another way to understand that is get your chest perpendicular with my shoulders, right? See this line, shoulder to shoulder, imagine a line going straight through, and then make a T shape with the chest. My opponent's over here, I'm in a bad spot because I have to turn to get to him. By the time I do, boom, I'm getting hit, right? Or he's coming underneath of my elbow, of my guard, or he's throwing a hook, boom, coming right in between my guard. A lot of power, and I'm just sitting there waiting to get hit. Or if I turn to get to him, he's probably gonna create another angle. I turn, and now he's to my backside. Okay, so creating angles is huge, and a fighter to watch and understand that does this great, and if you're a boxing fan, you probably know who I'm gonna say, Vasil Lomachenko, all right? I'm gonna put a link of his fights or a highlight video in the description below, and I want you to watch and study the way he moves. 2-3 punches, bop, 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 steps out to the side, bop, bop, his opponent turns to look at him, he throws another one and hits him, and moves, or creates another angle, another advantageous angle, and he's lighting him back up, all right? So watch and study him, one of the best around right now. So it's a good way to understand it, but also know that rhythm and balance is super important, right? If you're leaning, your balance is gonna be off, you're gonna be falling, you're not gonna be quick with your steps, all right? So on the balls of your feet, of course, but get your feet where they need to go, okay? So talking about actual combos and stuff like that can be defensive or it can be offensive, right? Someone's coming in heavy and I just do a pivot hook, so I step out 90 degrees and rotate as I throw a hook, that's creating an angle, right? If they keep coming, I'm sort of playing Turo with a bull, right? They're coming in straight, I create this angle, boom, now I'm facing them this way, bop, bop. Okay, so that's a good way to look at it. Another defensive way to do it is someone throws a wide left hook, right? Left hook's coming this way, I go underneath. If I just roll underneath and stay in the same spot on that 12 o'clock position, then maybe he'll throw a right hand after it, and boom, I got caught with that one. Instead, take a step as you roll, all right? Take your right leg and move out to the right as you roll underneath. Boom, create this nice angle this way. Now I got an angle and I'm dodging that right hand, okay? From there I can move again. I can step out to the side, again in the same direction. I can come the other way and confuse them and have them going like this and having to chase me all around, all right? And you can do this offensively as well. One that I always teach and I love is a TJ Dillashaw one where he shuffles as he jabs, right? His feet switch position and he goes out to the right side as he throws his left jab. Boom. Then he'll pivot on the hook, creating that angle, okay? So again, offensively, defensively, make sure that you're creating angles. Don't just stand directly in front of your opponent, because then it just comes down to range. If you give more variation, it's changing things up. It's getting your opponent thinking, you're being one step ahead of them. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully this helps you understand creating angles, finding angles, and what that means, and it's super important. If you want to be a good fighter, or if you want to be a great fighter, then you need to be creating angles and understand what that means exactly. So experiment with it, watch videos, study. And also, again, if you guys would, please subscribe to my wife's YouTube channel. It's awesome. It's going to be a lot of fun. Different than this. It's going to be more of our personal life, so I think you guys will enjoy that. Until next time, if you haven't subscribed to Fight Tips, please do so to get the fight tips before your opponent does. I'm Shane. Self-defense for the underdogs.